beautiful old man down here, Sprite. And he seems to finally be making some progress with this girl. I don't know that they're breeding yet, but I put the nest box on, and they seem to be having a discussion. Finally. She's got 10 days to lay me an egg. Because I'm going to be moving all of these guys in June. They have to be started by April 1st. So, hopefully that will happen. Fertility check on this pair. This is Snow and Cumulus. They have not a single fertile egg out of 3 so far. I'm not very happy about this. So with a fertility check like this, I've had a very weird spring, and I think it's because of some medication I used. Like, for instance, this girl has never gotten anywhere near breeding. And yet, last time, she went to nest and laid me a whole bunch of eggs. So I know there's nothing wrong with her, except that I think that medication messed up the hen's cycle, so that her hormones are cattywampus. Same thing with this girl. Deeply, deeply in love. I don't think she's ever spent a second in that box. And yet, she laid me a whole bunch of eggs last time around. So, if there's nothing still, and they've been in here for weeks upon weeks. So, they've got, 2 more days until April 1st. And then I will pull them and try them again at some later date. So, I'm a little bummed about this, but it's not over yet. It's not uncommon I'm checking them at 6 days after the first egg is laid, which means there's only 3 eggs in the nest. And oftentimes they'll delay sitting for a while. And oftentimes the first egg or even 2 will be infertile. So it could be that she'll start laying fertile eggs before she's done. So I will not pull them. I will wait until she has laid 5 to 6 eggs and the last egg is 4 days old. And then I will check them, and if there's still no fertility, then there's no fertility. Happy days here. Khalil is gonna be a daddy. Yahoo! This little pied hen was not messing around for a second. I only see one very, very just faintly starting embryo when an egg is about 12 to 24 hours old. Well, as far as incubation, has been incubated for 12 to 24 hours. It forms a little circle. It's like a tiny, thin little red thread on top of the yolk. And that's the beginning signs of fertility. And one of her eggs shows that out of 3. That's all I need. There's fertility there. I'm happy as can be. Let's see, who else? This is Ocean and his girl Baby Blue have fertility. So, things are going along good there. I saw fertility in 2 of their eggs, which is good. This guy, Hephaestus and his girl, nothing. 3 eggs, not a thing. I don't know what's going on. And I checked these guys. This is Bubba Jr. and his lady, Blanca, the violet dilute hen. The first egg is well developed. I dropped an egg she laid 1 egg and then didn't lay another egg for like 6 days. So in order to encourage her to sit on it more consistently, I gave her one of Haverty's eggs because she had 6 in here, which was ridiculous. So I pulled her down to 4 and put 1 in here. And so she had that egg and her own egg, and they're both pretty well developed. As you can see, they're going to start hatching in the next week. And then all of a sudden, out of the blue, she started laying eggs again. So she has 3 more eggs in there, and I just checked them and found 1 with fertility in it. So how this goes, see, there's going to be this massive... One of those chicks is going to be 2 weeks old before the other ones start to hatch. So we have 2 cohorts under this hen. One is the first 2 eggs, the foster and her own first egg, that are clearly fertile and going to hatch. And then the other is the 3 later eggs that she laid, and one of those is, see this? There's no lack of breeding going on here. I don't know why these guys are having infertility. I am mystified. But anyway, we met, again, 3 eggs. Something may show up eventually. At first I didn't even think she could lay an egg, so something's happening. Do I need to be trimmed? He doesn't, but she might. I might pull her out and trim her. Anyway, so something's going to have to happen. If she indeed has only one fertile embryo out of those last 3 eggs, then my inclination is to leave her with the 2 older eggs and fosterate out that egg. So these guys' cold date came up. I don't know why Winston always sits back there in the corner. I'm not sure if he's hiding from me or what. He doesn't poop back there all the time. As you can see, his poop pattern shows he's up on the perch most of the time. So I think he's just hiding from me. But anyway, so Winston and Sif have 5 eggs in there. And there's something weird going on because it looks like 3 of their embryos failed. That's the red line of death. And at least 2 of them. The third one was a little hard to tell. But they still have 2 in there that are developing nicely. So it'll be real easy for me to drop an egg of hers onto them. In the meantime, this girl has 4 babies, while this girl has 3 babies and a 4th that's due to hatch any time now. But this hen only has 2, and this hen only has 2. The thing is, these babies are older, so my inclination would be to take her oldest chick and put it over there, and her oldest chick and put it over here, and then everybody has 3 babies to raise. The youngest chick in here, which I think is their own baby, it's moving a little slow. It seems to be growing slowly, whereas its older sibling, which is only 4 days older than it, is just massive. Oh, we broke open an egg here. Okay, we'll get rid of that. It's just massive. See the little guy in there? But he's only like 2, maybe 2 days old, maybe 3. So he may be fine. He just, needs to get that first big growth spurt going on. So anyway, her oldest chick here, if I put it in there, would probably land in size in between the other 2. Hi, Missy. Yeah, this is, yeah, so we'll see. She has to hatch 1 more egg before I pull anybody. Otherwise, I'll leave her with her babies. So, well, this one definitely needs to get moved. But she'll be able to feed all 4 of them for now. And I need to wait and see how this plays out before I move that baby. Because size and age has something to do with it. There's a big gap here, and I'd like to fill it. And on the other hand, her 2 babies over here, where I could bump up, are both pretty good sized at this point. So, as you can see, they're 4 days apart, but that younger one is playing catch up big time. So we'll see. I need to find out if that 4th egg is going to hatch over there. And I need to find out what kind of fertility I'm going to have over here with those younger eggs. So give me another 2 days and I'll get it figured out. Aren't those 2 pretty? I sure hope that little baby is theirs. It could be Marbles. Oh, so then we had some drama over here. This is Marble and Prussian were in here, and this is the weirdest thing. Prussian and Marble picked each other in the flight cage. They were actually, Prussian was originally with this girl over here, Lava, and Marble was originally with this guy over here, Tudor. And they just abandoned their mates and picked each other out of the big flight cage. And there was love and kisses and hugs forever, and then she took a really long time to do the flip and get into the nest box, which I attributed to the medication. But about 2 days ago, I looked in and he had a blood spot on the top of his head. I'm like, well, gee, you must have had a sharp pin feather poke through that gave you a little bloody spot. And I didn't really think much of it. Then today I came in this morning and he had more blood on the top of his head and some down on his mask. So it was kind of spreading around. There's blood marks on the perch where he was wiping it off. And there's blood on Marble's mask. So then I look in at Marble And I see, you see the large adult-sized bird poops all around the edges of that nest? She has been pooping in this box. There's Marble right there. And what that means, rather than going over there, and what that means is that she's afraid to leave the box because she feels her babies are in danger. You put that together with the fact that there wasn't anybody else in that cage to attack that male bird except for her. And then on top of that, when I went to go and catch him, he dove into the nest box, and when I opened the top of it and looked in, she had her wings spread and was hovering over her babies in the classic defense mode because he was in the box. So I don't know what went wrong there, but I pulled him because he's stressing out the hen, and she's only got 2 chicks in there, and she's an experienced mom. She will raise them without a hitch. And the last thing I want to do is come in and find a bloody mess. And the bloody mess would not necessarily be the chicks. It would be the hen killing the cock to defend her babies. And sometimes the cocks get jealous, and hens too, because a part of the mating ritual is feeding each other, and she's feeding the babies instead. So I don't really know what went wrong there, but I pulled him. And she's going to raise them on her own. Better safe than sorry. So, the other big news is that my lacewing male up here that finally decided that he liked girls, and his girl laid an egg. Are you going to let us see? Can we see? Huh, Hestia? Can we see your little egg? She says, no. Okay, so the last time I made a video, Thalia and Mars were in here, and Thalia had abandoned her nest. So when a hen jumps off her eggs, okay, first of all, hens do not jump off their eggs. There has to be something really wrong. But when a hen abandons their eggs or dies on the nest, the first thing you do is stick the eggs under a different hen, because although they were cold, they might not be dead yet. So I did that. And then the next day I pulled out the egg that was about to hatch, and because it was due to hatch, I could see by candling it that the chick had broke out of the air sac. That means there's 24 hours to hatch. So I checked the next morning, and he was nice and toasty warm and dead as a doornail. So they had been left cold too long. When I came out here, at first, Thalia was literally sitting on the perch directly in front of her box, looking in at it, but not going in. Now, Thalia had 2 blown hips, and I knew that, but she had such a will to live, and she was fed up and healthy, and she loved her man, and I thought, all right, one more batch of babies, and then I'm going to put her down, because I know those hips give her constant pain. What I think happened is that the pain became too much, and climbing in the door, the little hole in that nest box, became too painful for her. So she climbed out to go to the bathroom and get something to eat, and she couldn't get back in again. She was unstable on the perch and hunkered and closing her eyes and just miserable. So I said, all right, it's time. So I put her down and released her from her misery, and put Mars back out. I'm sad that I missed that she suffered like that, because it's not, hens do not abandon their nests. It had to be really terrible for her to do that. So what I did was I put these 2 in here. This is Razzle and Remington, who are Thalia's parents. Remington is one of my origin birds. Razzle, the light green male, he's actually the brighter colored bird in here, because the hen is a cinnamon, so she's very light colored. Was one of my origin birds. I've always kind of mildly suspected that he is Bubba's brother, because they came together and they were very young, and Bubba was younger than him, and he fed Bubba for the first 2 months that I had them. And babies do that. Remington was bred by me. She was a Sparky and Kelly's baby girl, and she was Haverty's full sister out of the same nest. And they have made me some beautiful babies. They started out early this year, and both the embryos fizzled in the egg, I think because it got either too cold or too hot. Because perversely, eggs will freeze, embryos will freeze if it gets down below 40 degrees. They'll also cook if it gets above 95, 100. And there was a day that I drove off and left the storm shutters closed, not realizing how hot it would get. And I think I cooked them. So I broke up that nest and put them back out. They've rested for several weeks now, and I saw them breeding out in the big cage, and they're like ready and raring to go. So I said, okay, as far as getting me an egg by April 1st, I bet there'll be one in there before that. They'll probably lay an egg in another, they've been in here for 2 days, they'll probably have an egg in there in another 3 or 4 days. So, and they make beautiful babies. I kind of really don't need any more of their babies, but they're so beautiful I can't stand it. So they're going to breed one last time, and then I will sell them as a bonded pair. Razzle is coming up on 3 years old, and Remington's 2.5. So they've got a while to go, and frankly, if you keep a bonded pair together, they'll continue to breed successfully for longer than if you split up an older pair and try and rematch them to somebody else. It throws them off their game. So anyway, they will be up for grabs after this breeding season as a bonded pair. And they make show-worthy babies. In fact, their baby, one of their baby girls came in second in a show in Washington last spring. So, and Thalia would have been a winner, but she had a gimpy leg, so I couldn't show her. So anyway, that is the update on the breeding shed. So we have some happy fertility, some unhappy not fertility. We have, you want to see lots and lots of babies here? Here we go. Look at that, a fistful. Oh, that little tiny one. So yeah, one of those is going to get taken out of there because I never leave a bird with more than 3 babies to raise, especially when they're going to be giant babies. And I have nests with a space in them, so I can do that. Yeah, so it's good. I'm excited. And there's a deadline coming, so I may end up with some empty cages in here. But I'm moving northward this summer, and the breeding seasons are different up there, so I may be able to breed them over the summer and try again. Excuse me. Okay, that's it.